Today is a special day, not just because it's TEDx and we've been waiting for this day for weeks. Today is my niece's birthday. Today, Abigail turns 3, but in this photo, she's 8 months old. Look at that expression on her face. This is the type of pure, unfiltered joy that can only be experienced by someone who has never seen an indirect cash flow. Long before MBA accounting, we can lose this sense of pure joy. And that's what I'm here to share with you today, an idea that has helped me live more like my niece. And since I'm in MBA school and everything is expressed in ratios, I've put it into an equation for you, where choice over fear equals power. Choice is our ability to make deliberate decisions, and fear are the feelings we have about what could happen. And power, while generally refers to external power, in this case, this is our internal ability and strength. And the power is always there. The question is whether it lies dormant or do you bring it alive? Choice. We can have different amounts of choice. Some people have more choices than others. But we increase our power when we increase our choice. We acknowledge that when we make an active, deliberate decision, it impacts our lives and the lives of others. Many years ago, I was feeling like I was stuck, like I didn't have choices. Many things had happened externally that had left me feeling hopeless and depressed. I had failed in ways that were just hard to manage. So I decided to create a goal book. This is the first cover of my goal book that I created. As a communication designer, I was able to take all my goals, all my vision, my mission, and put it into spreads where I could express who I was and what I wanted to be. This spread shows my values. These spreads show my goals, because I couldn't change the painful past or the current situation I was in that exact moment, but I could create the future of who I was going to be and what I wanted to do in the future. I created inspirational pages with quotes and images that remind me how I want to feel. I created a habit tracker that you can't see the individual habits, but every day I go through and see what I've done because I want to be accountable to myself. The next year, I realized I couldn't just do more goals. I needed to look back at what I've done. So I created a review section where you can see all the habits I've done and what I've learned. This is 9 years of creating goal books, and here's the cover in one spread from each section. And through this, I have gained profound self-awareness, but also see many of the things that I struggle with in the people around me. And I'm a designer, and so you can borrow a skill from design, which is to be intentional and clear. However, everyone doesn't have the skills of a designer, so use your strengths, whether that's creating your life balance sheet, a PowerPoint deck, a poem, a dance, whatever enables you to be clear and intentional about your goals. Second, start small. The mind works better when you break things into motivating, manageable tasks. It's more motivating and you'll be able to tackle it better. And live for the present. I originally made the mistake when I started my goals books that I would be happy when I accomplished these goals, that I would be successful and happy once this happened. But I have realized it's too important not to live right now. So now I focus on how can I be content in this moment, enjoy how exciting it is, and make my goals about how I can make my life more meaningful by what I add or subtract. In summarizing choice, you have options and you can choose who you want to be and what you want to do. And while that sounds super simple, it's really difficult in practice, especially when emotions get into play, which brings us to fear. Fear are the emotions that we experience about what could happen. They stem from our insecurities, bad experiences, our doubts, internal and external negative images and thoughts that we have about who we are, or others not recognizing our self-worth. When fear goes down, power goes up. And another cool thing about math is the closer you get to 0, the more your power shoots up. When I was in first grade, I was tested in to go to what I was thought of as the smart kid school. It wasn't a matter of if I was going to start my new school, but when. I was so excited, but I waited, and I waited, and I eventually realized I wasn't going to this school. And with this came the fear that I am not as smart as I think I am. It bothered me my whole life when applying to undergraduate schools for many, many years, until I finally asked my mom, what happened? The principal said I was very smart, but that I didn't have the verbal skills. My siblings would pay me to stop talking, which I never got any money, by the way. But as an introvert, being around a group of strangers, I wouldn't have said much. The first thing you can do is acknowledge fear. We acquired that fear for a reason. Whether or not it still serves us is a different question that we can manage. We give our fears and our stories different meanings. If we think something means we're a failure, our fear will increase. But if we think something means we're just learning, our fear can decrease. Focus on your power. When we feel fear, we can try and steal power or have power over another person. And while this may increase our external power for the short term, we are only increasing our fear because then we have the added fear that we'll lose that borrowed power. And realize knowledge is not skill. Knowing that I am smart enough, I still have to remind myself over and over again. Knowing is different than an emotional understanding. In recapping fear, we are constantly receiving messages that tell us that we're not good enough, that we're not smart enough, that we're not fast enough, we're not whatever enough. It is complete bullshit. You are stronger than all of those. And it doesn't matter that you feel fear, only that you choose living your one short, precious life over fear. Which brings us to the funnest part, power. Power is our internal strength and capacity. In 2021, I had been working on goal books for years. I had grown internally and was a much better person, but I still felt stuck in the external circumstances that had left me feeling hopeless in the first place. But I kept working on my grad school applications, including Babson. One night, I woke up in the middle of the night with a nightmare. I had put myself in the situation where the smart kid school could tell me that I wasn't smart enough again. But this time, I had the awareness of myself and the fear, and it did not have the same effect on me. I was accepted to Babson with a scholarship and got to fly from Denver to Boston to start all over, which is the dream I had always wanted. The first step is to gain self-awareness. You have to know who you are, to know what you want, to make the choices that matter and have the impact you want. And as you understand your fear, it will have less power over you, and you can deal with it faster and quicker. Always follow up and review. Follow up with what your goal is so that you know how you're progressing and what you need to change and adjust. And review what you've done, because it's a reminder of everything that you've done and how you have accomplished your tasks in the past, which means you can do them again, and that you know you're capable. Because you have so much ability to learn and grow, we can learn and grow every day through every experience. And recapping power, you are infinitely more powerful than you can imagine. And this only increases with self-awareness and ongoing effort. This photo is not just my favorite photo because Abigail is so adorable. I think this photo represents the glory of humanity. It was taken when her mom walked in from the next room to find her standing up for the very first time. She is so proud. Nobody told her to stood up or said it was the right time in her development. She just felt the time was right and stood up. This is the world I'm trying to create, this feeling, this joy that we have, and I'm trying to learn, even when I fall and fail and make mistakes, that we can experience this joy as adults because we have pride in who we are and believe in our own and others' internal strength and power. That we make choices from a place of strength, not of fear, because we know we have the capacity to learn and grow from all of our challenges and not let them make us about our self-worth. The question is, how are you designing your power and creating yourself? Thank you.